Welcome back to the A2B podcast, guys, your number one source for military entrepreneurship and entertainment. Guys, we've been talking for about an hour and a half. This has been like a long-ass podcast, but we only have recorded about 45 minutes of it, and you guys can see it somewhere up here. Not only that, we have a first in our podcast because we have a First Sergeant Billman right now. He's live on TikTok. If you haven't seen him, go follow him. He's right there. You can do a zoom of him right there. Hey, guys, go ahead, go follow him. We're going to have him on the podcast here pretty soon, but for the past 2 hours, we've been talking to none other than Sergeant Hampton for himself about his experiences in his Marine Corps career, how he was growing up here in Chicago. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to resume the conversation. So Barry, you want to take us away real quick?
It's never good. No, he's going to fucking set it off. He's about to,
he's about
to go 0 to 100 real quick. Let's do it. Let's do it. Mary's about to launch this shit in stratosphere.
Yeah. So, first of all, can we talk about this Sergeant America real quick? Isn't that the guy we were just showing the video?
Yeah. So Sergeant America, let's talk about Sergeant America because that's the reason why we have the first sergeant live. And right now, he got a 6105 right now in his car ready to go for Sergeant America, Okay, the reason why that happens and the reason why we talk about Sergeant America is because he posted a video essentially talking shit. He even said in his video, he was talking shit about...
I think he was trying to be funny, though. Did we take it as funny?
Yeah. I took it as funny. I took it as funny as well.
Okay. But if you're not fucking funny, then stop trying to be funny. Like, if you're not funny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think...
I just couldn't hear him through the bangs and the mustache.
And I think that's the first sergeant's
point,
though.
The bangs were... I've never seen a man with bangs like that in my life. I don't know where he grew up, and I don't know. Because maybe he grew up in a place
crazy.
But listen, I think that's what the first sergeant was referring to, right? In the video.
I mean, you cannot see the man's
listen,
forehead.
if you're gonna post something on social media, just know that we're gonna see you in person. Like it's not like you're somewhere hitting up a headquarters Marine Corps.
Not his forehead. His forehead is hidden.
Yeah, well, his forehead was
with his bangs.
He could. I don't know.
Why you keep saying that man's bangs?
Because I've just never seen it. It's like he really, and his upper lip had bangs. And I'm just like, okay, dog, you know what I mean? I'm just like respectfully, because he looked like
respectfully,
because he looked like Yosemite Sam on the top lip, okay, from Saturday morning cartoons.
I think you show your age right there with that comment.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, but the mustache was crazy though.
What is your opinion? What is your opinion on what he was saying?
No, I knew that shit was gonna come my direction.
Yeah, you can say your opinion on that.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. So my opinion is, if you are going to be on social media as an NCO, staff NCO, whatever the case is, and especially if you're going to be doing an SDA, the content that you're putting out or flavor of content that you're going to be distributing, it should reflect in a way that's either going to provide knowledge or something that the force can utilize to do better. If you're going to be out there trying to make jokes, like, for example, we do know a Marine who's an NCO who's pretty funny. We know him. He's been on the podcast, right?
Yeah. He's referring to YRF Tony.
We're name drop. All right, cool. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he's almost as funny as me.
If you he's funny. I don't know if he classifies as a comedian or whatnot, but he uses his humor and his skits to shed light on Marine Corps topics.
Like real issues.
Real issues, right? But if you come out and you're just like, well, I'm not going to talk shit, that's already, you're going to start off by talking shit. But then when you address, like, there's a drill instructor, there are Marines who want to be drill instructors. So now you're saying that some drill instructor is subpar. Some drill instructor is not to your liking or your standard, but you're not a drill instructor. You're a sergeant who's slated for recruiting school. So why do you have an opinion on what drill instructors are doing? Regardless of boot bouncing, sleeves, whatever the case may be.
Oh, well, I'll tell you why. Because he, just like everybody else, he wanted to be a drill instructor, and he wasn't one.
So, but even if that is the case, right?
It is.
Even if that is the case, whatever you're putting out, it should be feeding these Marines some piece of knowledge that's going to make them better. You're a whole sergeant. You could be giving like my entire social media presence, if you actually take a look at it, I'm interacting and I'm talking back to comments. I'm talking back to DMs. I'm answering questions. I'm just giving out the knowledge that Marines or people who want to be Marines need to know.
Yeah, yours is really informative. You're adding value to people.
It's crazy because if you're going to be a recruiter, if you think you're going to graduate recruiting school, you should probably start that now.
Yeah.
But that's just like friendly counseling. You know
no,
I think he was just being funny. Right. I think we all agree.
He meant no ill will. I honestly believe.
I don't think so.
I don't think he meant any ill will behind it.
I'm sure he's a great guy.
I'm sure he's cool.
With the bangs.
With bangs.
I'm just saying, dog, because he was like,
you said it.
Well, but I'm saying because he's talking about the sleeves that aren't even all the way in the shot, but he's leaning in, and all I'm seeing is like
I think that
bangarang.
I think what actually happened in all reality is because he meant no ill will by it. He would have went and recorded that video, tried to make a comedic relief of it. Drill instructor versus recruiter.
No.
Staff sergeant versus sergeant. Make it a deal, and he thought it would probably gain some traction, get people talking.
Well, it did got some traction.
It did get some
It
traction.
just didn't
but
go
not-
the way that he
just-
thought he was gonna go.
That was
Correct.
his way of
Correct.
saying, "Hey,
Correct.
dog, you're a hat. Fix your sleeves because they're looking crazy."
I
right
wonder
now."
what staff
But who
sergeant
is he
he's
talking
referring
about?
to. I know it's not Angius.
I have just not seen a staff sergeant on there where you're just like,
Yeah,
You know?
specifically
I couldn't
a
tell
drill
you.
instructor.
But I responded to the first one just out of comedic relief.
no.
And I checked my sleeves, and I was like, all right, thank God I'm tight. And thankfully I'm
And then
still
you
a
have
sergeant.
the wrong chevrons on. You
know,
you are a sergeant.
Yeah, like I was like, all right, cool. Thank God I'm tight, right?
Yeah.
And like that got like that did pretty good. And then he made the one about boot blousings.
I haven't
Oh, I
seen
didn't see that one.
I didn't see
That one's pretty disrespectful.
What do you say?
Like,
in that
I'll
one?
say that one's pretty disrespectful.
What do you say in that one?
It was a
Was it really?
It was a really bad disrespect.
Hold up, dog, hold up.
On drill instructors. And that's when I responded with my verbal counseling.
You gave a verbal counsel.
When you search Sergeant America sleeves, it comes up. His page comes up. Okay, boot blousing. I don't know where the.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to find
that
that
one was
one.
pretty disrespectful.
Now, while you look for that, Barry, I want to
Yeah.
go ahead and obviously I want to resume the conversation that we were having
Yes,
whenever we were
correct.
talking about,
Yes.
how did you go from wanting to get out of the Marine Corps and then now all of a sudden,
Right.
I'm putting in my DI package.
Yes.
You said that you were talking to your battalion commander, and the battalion commander took you into his office, and he was asking you directly,
Yes.
like, you have no negative paperwork,
None.
no negative nothing. How come nobody's recommending you to go on to do an SDA?
So that conversation went along the lines of I told him my experience from my previous unit. I told him about the relationship I had with my RS as a new sergeant, my relationship between my staff and CO, and as well as what I've tried to implement within the unit for the GM Marines, my peers, and even to be that advisor to the commissioned officers within the battalion. Based on that conversation, he said, "There's no brainer. I'm recommending you," and that was it. And then from there, he decided, now instead of just keeping you where you are, you're going to have more opportunities to implement the things that you're having conversations about. IPAC platoon sergeant, consider it done. Then the conversation of me going to MAI course came up, and I got a new RS at that time.
All with your battalion commander.
All my
directly.
all my battalion commander.
Did you have to request mass for that?
No.
No. Okay. Good.
No, he was a leader that didn't. He was very involved with his battalion. He knew all of his Marines, and they always say open door policy, like never trust open door policy. But we're gonna have a conversation if you give me that time of day. Like I have no problem bringing it up to lieutenant colonel, whoever. At the end of the day, it's just two men conversating professionally. So he took that and ran with it, and then I had that conversation with myself as well as my mentor, Cesar Tamayo, and he told me, he's like, if you choose to hang it up, who's going to set that standard? Why would you let yourself quit now after everything you've been through? You have not accomplished everything you've wanted. You have not done anything to your full potential. And then I also have another mentor who we all know and very well supports, Staff Sergeant Thigpen.
Oh yeah. Meet speaks.
Meet
for all
Speaks,
you guys.
for those of you who don't know. Listening to him and having him in my corner and looking at the things that he puts out. And one thing that resonates with me is, why would you let anybody bully you out of your career or bully you out of your opportunities? So that was where I made my turning point, where it's like, you can't bully me out of my career. You can't make me feel like this is not what I'm meant to do. You say, no, I'm not going to allow you to go do this course. Okay. So I'm going to perform to the best of my ability, so which you don't have a choice but to say yes. And then if you do tell me no, I need a full breakdown of what I need to do to get better, because that's what leaders do. I'm never perfect. I'll never be perfect.
Yeah.
So I need to find somebody who's better than me to mentor me and make me better. So when it comes time for me to give back to my Marines, I've been mentored by every single different avenue. so I can give it back tenfold.
Okay, good. So obviously went your way. You got you got slated for you
Yep.
to go to what was your class?
Ford Tech 23.
Ford Tech 23.
Correct.
And then after that, you got to the depot. How was drone instructor school?
It was a lot that happened before I went to DI school.
Okay, what
It was a
happened?
lot. I went to OCS, Officer Candidate School for an augment.
Okay.
I was there with Company A, Alpha Company there, and I met a plethora of amazing staff NCO leaders who were prior drill instructors, now Officer Candidate School instructors, sergeant instructors, and that mentorship changed my mindset on how I looked at senior leaders as well, because they were training the future of our
Anybody stick out to you that you remember?
First Sergeant Berryhill, off the top of my head, Gunnery Sergeant Woody, Gunnery Sergeant Dickens. Like those are three main ones that are like essential.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What did they do different that really caught your eye?
There is it's the way they carry themselves, and I asked them about how to have that specific relationship between NCO and officer, because they're creating officers for our Corps there. So watching how they interacted with the candidates, as well as watching how they interacted with their company commander, it was a day and night of what I was not doing when I was at the IPAC. So it
So you
opened
looked
my
at it
eyes.
as in yourself, not what other people were doing.
Absolutely,
But what
correct.
you weren't doing.
Correct. I looked at what was I not doing, because I'm watching staff sergeants and gunnery sergeants have conversations with captains, majors. Why am I a sergeant and I'm not having that exact same style of conversation, demeanor, and professionalism talking to a lieutenant, chief one officer, captain? And if I'm sitting down talking to lieutenant colonels, which I was, why am I not bringing the same professionalism and plethora of knowledge and solutions to all these problems that are coming up that these staff NCOs are doing? So if I need to be better, I need to be like them. So those staff NCOs were absolutely amazing.
Okay.
So
awesome.
so OCS had a great time there. From there, went back to the IPAC and my new RS.
What were you doing before you go there? What were you actually doing? You were an augment.
Correct.
But what were you actually doing? What was like your
I was
responsibility?
the company police sergeant, so I was in charge of all the administrative responsibilities of the company, primarily the drops, the candidates that were going away.
Okay.
And in any case, the events that needed to be conducted throughout the training, myself and the company gunnery sergeant, I was working hand in hand with him, making sure the plan of the day moved smoothly, gear was good, all those other
Yeah,
things,
police
all those other
sergeant
factors.
is
Yeah.
for OCS. It sounds a little bit different, but a police sergeant, like you're gonna have that in a grunt unit, and he's gonna be that right hand man to the company gunny.
Yeah.
So like the company gunny, he's doing all the logistics and stuff like that for the company. That police sergeant is going to be his guy, coordinating, locking it on, getting the truck, picking it up, dropping it off.
Having the conversations, like company gunny says, like, hey, we need to go in this training area. I need to have that conversation with battalion, make sure, like, all right, hey, like,
go to training, lock it on.
Schedule everything, yeah. So
Gotcha. Well, you had.
Yeah.
I got the
something you wanna
video,
break down?
the boot blousing video from
Oh,
Sergeant
yeah.
America.
we're going back to Sergeant America. All right.
I don't know. Let's see it.
Okay, I'm done. I promise. After this, I'm done. I swear on everything, a drill instructor, not a motherfucker do this. I remember when I was in boot camp, all I wanted to do. I'm just kidding. All I ever wanted to do was, I could not wait till I could blouse my trousers. So that way I could be cool, you know what I'm saying? So I could be cool. That's how you do a recruit is cool. Think about it. Is this what a motherfucking drill sugar feel like when they walking around all day? Yeah, crying. I'm so sorry. All right. Let's get to the real shit. What are y'all doing? I got a buddy at work that wear his shit like this. Bro. I swear, drill instructors be walking around with their fucking trousers up to their kneecaps, bro. God said that there's not gonna be another flood. So what are we doing? Anyways, I'm gonna just show you how I like mine. real quick. I like mine to be over the boot. I don't like having trousers above the boot. It just, I don't know. But anyways, keep the sleeves too. Any drill instructor out there that thinks they can pull better sleeves than me, bring it my way. They can grab them too.
Yeah, I
Wait,
think.
wait for it.
I'll just
The best part.
all love, baby.
The best part.
Anyways, with the sleeves, yeah, just, I don't know, do better.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Captain America.
Nah, I don't think he hasn't got. I don't think he has gotten in trouble yet, because if he's gotten in trouble, he probably would have erased those videos already.
America.
Because that's the first step that you do. Like as soon as somebody tries to pull you in, the first thing that people should do at least is take the content out, because if they haven't screen recorded it yet, they're probably going to screen record it, and then now they have the evidence that they need against you. So I don't think but he's been very quiet after that. That video was posted a week ago, and he still hasn't said anything.
He has. He posted one video after that.
Oh, well, I haven't been keeping
it's-
up with him.
No, I follow him.
You
I
follow
follow him.
I just followed him right
Yeah,
now.
no, I
He's
follow
pretty
him.
moto.
He's a moto guy. I'm sure he's a super cool dude. But I just think the direction of the content that he was going is not in his best interest.
You know
Or
how
the-
TikTok is, man. You'll put some
100%.
stuff out there
100%.
and you'll be like trying to be funny.
Yes.
And people will
Yes.
seriously
Yes.
Yeah, I think
come unglued.
I think TikTok first shows it to your haters, and then shows it to your people that might like
TikTok
it.
is the Walmart of social media.
Yeah.
They don't know how to act in there. They're not dressed properly. Instagram is the target.
Yeah, well, so,
We're a little more sophisticated.
Sergeant America, it looks like that room that you were in looks like a Camp Pendleton barracks room. So if you're in Camp Pendleton, listen, you can come over here and you can talk about it. You can sit down with us. You can come over here and say your piece, and we'll give you the space in order for you to say your
But
piece.
you better come in camis
Yeah.
because we're going to need to see the sleeves.
Yeah, we're gonna need to see it. We could have a sleeve rolling competition. But brother, back to you. Let's talk about how was that transition. Obviously, you said that you were you went to OCS. You saw some amazing leaders there. Then after that, you went back to the IPAC, and that's where you left off.
Yes. From the IPAC, I had a new RS at that point in time, and he changed my entire mentality, because now that relationship that I saw demonstrated at OCS, I could have that with him. So he knew of me from the IPAC and what my previous RS said about me and what other staff NCOs had to say.
Yeah, of course.
But the Marine I came back after the IPAC, he was like, it's a day and night difference. I don't understand what they were seeing, or I could see the drastic changes. So he was very verbal with me in my performance, where I stood with him, like on his scale and what he wanted me, where he wanted to see me improve. But he was also a drill instructor, so he knew where I was going and he knew the route I wanted to take. So the conversation of becoming a martial arts instructor came up. He was all about it. Go. He let me go to martial arts instructor course, graduated that, came back, and at that point in time, I had a weary few months left in the IPAC. So he's like, well, you have maybe 8 months. So what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I can be the police. I can go back to being a platoon sergeant. He's like, yeah, you're going to go do PMEs. I'm like, well, what do you mean? He's like, there's no PMEs going on. Why not, Sergeant? And I was like, you're right, sir. So I went to my first sergeant, brought up the conversation of corporals courses, Lance Corporal seminars, and my first sergeant at the time, also a drone.
In other words, your S3 sucked.
Yeah.
That's what it translates to me.
Yeah,
but I do have one question for you, man. Like, so with that being said, because you said that you had an eye-opening moment in your career to where you saw what true leadership should have been like, communicating with your higher-ups and essentially communication skills, right?
Absolutely.
So with that being said, prior to that, do you take any responsibility for how you were treated? Maybe you were like, maybe if I wouldn't have done that, or maybe, like had some type of verbal, some type of physical, nonverbal communication with that other chief warrant officer and all that stuff. Maybe they wouldn't have treated me that way. Do you assume some type of responsibility like that?
So I want to say that in their field, they were absolutely great. They could, and they did train me to the point of being proficient in my job, my MOS. And we had a relationship of communication where if I were to advance that in a sense and look for mentorship to be a very proficient sergeant, those avenues weren't available. So I can't say
But why though?
I want to say, like, looking in hindsight, I probably didn't go about it the right way. I probably was giving off a sense of energy or vibe that they did not respect and they wanted nothing to do with.
Did you feel that you were better than the other or carried yourself better just because you came from an infantry unit?
I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, looking back, and if you ask anybody from that period of time, I would say yes. But internally, I didn't think that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, but
internally,
okay,
I
are
didn't
we
think that,
dancing
yeah.
around the fact that you wanted them to, have the whole Marine concept and they didn't?
Yes, but I also think that them not having the whole Marine concept fucked with me a bit because that's all I've seen. I didn't know the IPAC existed.
Yeah.
I knew, like, you submit the fucking EPARs, right? And whatever they do. But my mindset was administrators, like, what we do is what everything that I did. So now with my mindset and how I look at things, it's like Marines at the IPAC or admin Marines, band Marines, whatever the case may be, your experience is your experience. You don't need to deploy. You don't need to have ribbons and a fat stack on your chest. None of that shit honestly fucking matters. If you're good at what you do and you have great professional and personal development skills to better yourself and your Marines, that's all that matters at the end of the day. Like, deployments, no deployments, it doesn't matter. And I wish I had that mindset when I was a very junior sergeant, especially in the IPAC, because I didn't get to that point until, again, after I came back after OCS and I had that new RS and I had the experience with those other staff and seniors.
Okay, so we're going to have a conversation here. We're going to have a conversation here real quick. All of our input, right? Mm-hmm. Because, and I think we're going to disagree here, but it's okay. It's okay to disagree. So, because I look back at it and I see some of the traits that you had, even me as a gunnery sergeant, okay? Going back to the fleet after a deployment, and even me as a staff sergeant going back from recruiting duty, I felt the same way that you felt. But you know what? I was not as effective as I really wanted to be.
100%.
I was very confident of my abilities. I
100%.
knew the type of person that I was. I knew the stuff as type of leadership that I brought to the table and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, something, me looking back at it now, what I really understand, that it's not your shop.
100%.
It's not your shop. Even you as a sergeant major, it's not your command. It is 100%. The officer's command. Your OIC, your company commander, your battalion commander. It is their show. And if they essentially have a way of doing things, you have to adapt and you have to conform with that, even if you might feel that it's not the whole Marine concept.
And that's where I failed.
I felt at it too. But me looking back at it, I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I mean, that's why Marines have such a hard time.
That's why I got non-rect. That's why I got non-rect for promotion, DI. Mm-hmm. That's why I got such a hard time with my RS and my RO, because I did not understand that as a brand new NCO.
Yeah,
I just had this conversation with somebody. Literally, it was. I think it might have been yesterday, and it was like you don't like my decision. You disagree with my decision. Mm-hmm. I said no. No, I don't disagree with your decision. I think you got bad advice, and there's a big difference. See, was an advisor, a principal advisor for a lot of years, okay? Because I picked up first sergeant at 10 years. I retired at 23, okay? So for that amount of time, you're getting a crash course on how to be an advisor, and what it is just what you just described. We get emotionally attached to how we think things should go. Mm-hmm. When they don't go that way, we get big mad. And it's like, whoa, hold on. Just give the advice. If they don't do what you, and we don't even know how to do that, right? Give them all the options. Give them options 1 through 3, not just option number 2, because you think option number 2 should be the one that should be picked.
Or it best fits you.
It best fits you.
Absolutely.
And then when they don't pick 2, you come crying to the sergeant major talking about they don't listen to anything I say. Mm-hmm. How do you provide advice, Marine? Let's hear it, right?
I'm guilty. I've done that, though.
Yeah,
we've all done it.
Yeah, we've all done it.
We've all done it is the point. But my thing is give them all the options, and then this is where it gets hard, because we do get emotionally attached to this stuff. whatever decision they make,
That's commander's intent.
sell it like it was your own.
100%.
That is what a team does. That is what teamwork is. That's a command team. That is a team. And when you can't do that, I mean, you are a problem.
Yeah.
You are a problem because
even though your intentions might be good, because it doesn't necessarily mean that your intentions are bad, but at the end of the day, man, like, and I learned
play your
this,
position.
I
And
learned
play it
this
well.
way too
And play it
late
well.
in my career.
And play it well.
Yeah.
I learned this. I'll be honest with you, and my not only my performance on paperwork increased once I learned this, but my relationships with my higher ups, with my peers, also got better. You know what I'm saying? Because I took my emotions out of it.
It's freeing. Sir, ma'am, here's the options. Here's what, whatever the advice, okay? And then whatever they decide to do, it's not some big argument. Now, when would I straight up be like, okay, you're screwed up like a football bat, and we really need to talk about this? If I thought it was something that was illegal, unethical, immoral, right? Somebody's going to get freaking hurt.
Yeah.
That was not that often though. It really isn't. You're not back there just duking it out all the time. But you give the advice, and then the kicker is doing your best to not move forward when it blows up in everybody's face and go, I told you so.
Yeah.
Because that's not cool. They don't need you to remind them of that. You just say, hey, well, that's a learning experience. Let's make the needed adjustments moving forward, sir or ma'am, and let's just be better as a team. Because I'm here with you. I'm here with you. Because if there was ever a decision that my commander was going to make and I really felt that strongly, this is exactly what I would say. Roger that. I'm going to support your decision. I just want you to understand that I am walking over to the regimental sergeant major's office, and we're going to have a conversation about this because I'm really not with this. To the Marines of the unit, I'm with you. I'm with you. I do recommend you call the regimental commander because if not, your phone is going to ring at some point. Yeah.
I gave him the professional courtesy of letting them know, like, I'm not.
Well, because you have to do that. And that's why I feel so strongly about these topics of should we close the enlisted officer pay gap? Because it's like at the end of the day, I'm getting looked square in the eyes by freaking dudes that are senior to me as sergeants majors going, if you don't say anything and you guys write it as a team, you're going out as a team. So if you're cool with that, Barry, then make sure you don't say anything to me. If you're not, make sure you walk over to my office in person. You come over to my office, and that's what I would do. And I'd say, hey, sir, again, you're going to need to call the regimental commander because I'm going to talk to the regimental sergeant major about this one.
Now, going back, I think that was a great conversation. Whenever it comes to and we got that out of the way, right?
It's going in the pocket.
Because
I'll need that.
Yeah, because I can guarantee you that there's gonna be obviously quite possibly there's gonna be one. It only takes one. Shares is like, look what this fucking guy is saying about us, and I was like, I wanted to make sure that I was like, okay, it's not that we give both type of perspectives, right? So.
Absolutely. No,
You got to drill instructor school. And then how was that experience as soon as you got there?
Humbling. Is definitely humbling, and you could prepare all you want for it because I thought I could. I thought I did. But it's just one of those things where, as I always say, you just show up and find out. Like, that's the best way to get the experience. That's the best way to learn something about yourself. That's the best way to demand of yourself. You show up every single morning and you find out what you're made of. So,
what was your initial impression of DI school? Were you ready?
As ready as I could have been. Absolutely.
Okay. Were you shocked?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because I understood why I was there. I understood that there's a reason for everything, and my DI school instructor, Gunnery Sergeant Rodales, hands down a pillar mentor in my corner since I showed up to the schoolhouse to even after I graduated.
Were they treating you guys like recruits as students? Like, were you guys getting stressed out? I shouldn't say treated like recruits. When you guys showed up as students at DI school, you're Marines, I got it. Were they stressing you guys out?
Was there stress? Absolutely, there's stress.
Yeah, so instructors were going nuts, right?
There's stress every day in the Marine Corps, everywhere across the Marine Corps.
Yeah, that was a politically correct. They were they were ITing us in the rain rooms.
That's wild.
It was out of control.
For anybody who wants to go be a drill instructor and have the questions and curiosity about drill instructor school, show up and find out.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
That's it.
I always tell people DI school for me, like boot camp, we always say it was first, second, and third phase. DI school was fourth, fifth, and sixth phase. That's all.
Well, they have a fourth phase now, right?
They do a fourth phase.
Yeah.
So
well-
it's technically 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, but whatever. I didn't have that when I was in. Okay,
He
you
hates it
guys-
when I correct him like that.
Yeah.
I bet he does. I bet he does. But that's DI school it's a challenge. It's drill instructor school. Like you should.
Did
show
you
up.
yell at any trees?
That's a solid question.
Because
I
people-
did see people yelling at trees when I was a recruiter. Because people used to always hate.
People always say that though.
Yeah. That's 100.
That's a
you
rumor.
know that's a thing.
I never yelled at a tree though. In San Diego, I don't know. We didn't do that. Is that a PI thing?
No, I can guarantee you that is 100%.
I did not yell at the foliage.
And what they will do too is like, I can't hear you, and then all of a sudden you will be like halfway down the parade deck, and then you had to yell their commands. You guys that did have to do that, right?
See, well, San Diego, you would start with your heels on the curb of the parade deck closest to the flagpole. Your squad instructor would tell you 7 hard sevens. A hard 7 is left, right, left, right, left, right, left.
That's
7 hard sevens.
7 hard sevens.
You're losing count, by the way.
You're
'cause
definitely losing count. You're definitely.
You're losing count. You're like, was that 5 hard sevens? Was that 6
By,
hard
by the
sevens?
time you know it, you're like
Because he's counting, right? And then you get to the, face about and then begin your teach back.
Oh, so you got to go. Okay, all
And
that
then you
way
got
far.
planes that are flying overhead. I can't hear
yeah.
you.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
okay.
he said, yeah.
Okay. So how would you? Is there physically? How do you suggest that people go there? That's the most important part, right? Because physically, drill instructor school is extremely demanding.
Extremely.
Okay, so in terms that Marines can understand, physical fitness test, what would be the recommended 300, 285, 275, 250? What would you say is the minimum?
Well, I was very confused. I just saw the 2-24 graduation on social media, and the Iron Man got an award,
That's the thing.
and his score was 596 out of 600.
PFT and CFT?
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Well, it could have been.
Yes.
Did they combine the two?
Yes.
Okay, because I was like,
That's yes.
okay.
That's,
I didn't want to assume. That's what I thought, but I didn't want to.
that
And we don't do
right.
math in public. We're Marines.
Yeah,
Sounds
so
about right.
598 out of 600.
That's really good. That's insane.
It was 596 or 598.
That's amazing scores.
No, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
But
back in the day, though, 300 wasn't that unheard of.
Well, but you got to think it's drill instructor school, right?
Correct.
Oh,
so
yeah. Oh,
so
yeah,
when
you're
you
right.
get on the pull-up bar, they're
you're
like
right.
one,
Oh, yeah.
one, guys for Paris Island, guys. Come on,
Here we go.
silly.
Thank you for not
silly
participating in
guys.
this. Thank you for not
One, that's
participating in his
one
in his
pull up,
antics.
you stinker. Get louder, Paris Islanders.
He can't even.
And stuff,
Yeah, he
right?
can't even
Because
listen.
Hampton's with me, dog.
No. He's not. He's looking
Nah,
at me.
but
so
he's
that way
looking at you,
that
but
way
he
doesn't have to
knows
break his bearing.
in his heart
you
of
know?
San Diego is like
both coast trained recruits.
okay,
per the RTO.
okay,
Both coast trained recruits.
okay,
Yeah. So
perfect answer.
good thing you haven't asked them yet.
Beautiful.
Which coast is better?
Yeah,
But,
because we know.
Okay. Well,
And we
whatever.
do.
Well, I mean, he is in the coast. So yeah.
I work on one of them.
So in PFT, CFT terms, physical fitness, what would you say to Marines out there physically who need to prepare for DI school? What's the best thing they can do?
you honestly should be casually hitting 280s, 290s. Casually. That should be like you're going to run a PFT and CFT. You should be at best, and your normal performance should be 280, 290. Absolutely. Because now you're going to have to do that with more stress on top of, the regular PFT and CFT stressors. So now once you actually do come to earn the title of being a United States Marine Corps drill instructor, you are ready to perform.
Yeah, so in other words, let me translate that. It shouldn't be like you're friends with your S3 buddy that's a CPTR. It's like, hey, dog, I got to do my DI school package. Can you come run my PFT and CFT with me? It's like, nah, like legit,
Right,
be
absolutely.
honest to yourself and be like,
Absolutely.
am I really running a 280 and a 290
Absolutely.
PFT?
And
Well,
but-
I
but
can tell you
that's
too.
not just for DI school though. That is
Yeah.
100% for every single formal school you go to. Because
Sure.
when I went to
Yeah,
the,
but there's others.
But
there's
DI school is
Yeah.
by far, for me, it was the most physically demanding. That was the first time in the Marine Corps, recruit training included, as a recruit, I did not get 100 crunches. You want to know why? Because I had like 2 hours of sleep. I got to sniff a power bar, and I had like a sip of water after however many days.
the most challenging physical course I've ever faced in the Marine Corps was the MAIT course.
Yeah. Well, I ain't been to that course
yeah,
though, so
yeah.
you know I can respect
Yeah,
that.
that
But I'm
is
just
by
saying,
far the most
it like
physical.
you're to your point as for DI school, you are not in your like comfy, cozy,
No.
optimal
No.
like Marine Corps fleet. You're getting stressed out. You're hungry. You're tired already.
Extremely.
And then you go out there and you're freaking doing 5 pull-ups and then hanging like a fruit bat in the fleet. And then you get to DI school and all of a sudden, you don't even get one.
Yeah, it's a really emotional event for some. So
Wow.
it's a really emotional event.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
they were
bet.
from Paris Island.
I bet.
They cried.
So let's ignore that. Hey, cut that part out.
You trying to get me with that? You cheap.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and let's have a conversation on how has your first cycle and your time, because how long have you been since obviously Fort TAC 23? That's probably one of the last classes out of last year.
Correct.
So you're like quite fresh as a drill instructor,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So talk to us. How was your first cycle?
Well,
How
because
was
they
you
do it by
adapting to that?
fiscal year, right? So that means you would have graduated what, like October?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, early October.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So just for perspective, yeah.
And so it started in
Well-
fiscal year 23.
Correct.
But it ended in fiscal year 24.
I graduated late September and I checked in October.
Okay. So I want to touch that because
to
I
your
thought that
training
was
company.
Well, correct. I checked into my training company in October.
Yeah.
so I want to touch on that, right? Because I went to my cousin's graduation and I actually went to the last graduation as well. But I want to touch on that because I found that very interesting when I was there with my cousin. Recruiting school, you graduate, deuces. Everyone has plane tickets. Everyone has all that shit. Drill instructor is not like that. Like you have to actually stay there and you check in like right away,
Right
correct?
then.
Like how is that check-in process from the moment that you graduate drill instructor school to the moment that you have to check in to your company? Can you break that down? How that works?
It all depends on the different battalions and how RTR has it scheduled. So depending on how DI school, briefs you on the check-in process, it could be different for each battalion or each Marine, depending on their situation. If they need to go back home, move their family in PCS, if they need to do all these other variables, it's kind of different for everybody else and how they execute it. You could graduate that day, go check into your training company that day. You can graduate.
That's what my cousin did.
You can graduate that day, go take your 30 days of leave, come back, and then hit it. Or if you're OCONUS, take that time. So it
Now,
all depends.
I do have a question for the both of you because this is the advice that I gave my cousin, right? Because he was getting, I believe that he was getting mentally fucked. I think they gave him a challenge, right? So he checked in. I'm sorry. He graduated. He checked in. He literally stayed like 2 or 3 hours extra to check into his company. And then as he was checking in, he was like, "Yeah, so we have a cycle that's actually starting in 10 days. So we're gonna give you the option of you checking in within 10 days." And then if you check in, you're gonna be able to do the T days, and then gonna have the ability to get signed off if you decide to check in 10 days. If not, we'll give you however many days, but you're not gonna start within the T days, and then you're not gonna get signed off. What would you guys pick? And then I'll tell you what I told him. What would you pick?
You want to go first?
No, it's our major, but you got it.
That's easy. I would have checked in.
10 days.
10 days I'd have been there. You want to know why? Because the as right and correct as you would be for taking your leave, and I know people in the comments would be like, screw that, if you've been to the depot and you understand depot politics, that's it. I'm gonna tell you right now, you know, you set yourself up to make that next 3 years real difficult on yourself. Now, is it not overcomable? It is overcomable, but you better be a high performer. You better be a high performer. You better change, I'm saying that because I had that happen. Okay. I'll never forget you, De La Rosa. I love you till the day I die. De La Rosa was given that option, declined it, showed up, and I'll never forget T-Day 19. I was his J. I was ready to freaking slaughter this guy, and you know.
Why would you do that?
CCX, T-Day 19, I was ready to slaughter this guy. And this guy came out there with such a strong performance that I knew right then.
And that is the reason why you need to afford people. Well, let me not go there. Go ahead. What would you have done? What would you picked?
I think his answer covers a lot of baselines on the pros and cons of taking that leave or not taking that leave.
I'm just saying what I would have picked.
I think he hit both sides pretty much on the head.
Okay, so I get it.
Political
answer.
He don't want to answer.
Political answer.
And I'm proud to be an American.
I get it.
That's Hampton Fur right now.
I respect the fact of the reason why you're not. But let me tell you this. First of all, that's one of the greatest things. When I checked in recruiting duty, I was given the same option. And you know what? I wasn't even forced into the option. My staff NCOIC told me, take as many days as you want. Because as soon as you freaking check in, your ass is mine.
That sounds sexual.
That sounds very sexual.
It wasn't sexual.
Okay, because Valerie, I know he has a nice backside.
But I'm glad that I took all those days. And I'm telling you this, some people need those days to mentally get prepared. And what I told my cousin was like, Doc, take the days.
Now, but I'm going to say this. As much as for myself as a drill instructor, I was one of those guys. I for sure drank the Kool-Aid. If you had personal stuff,
he had no personal stuff.
I'm not going to hang. I'm not holding that against you. Like, you know, like you said, you got to move your family. There's like all this stuff. But like, is there a legit opportunity for you to do it? And if that was, and which I did, and I did check in, you know, but I never held that against De La Rosa.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you what I told them.
I'll tell you what I did.
Okay, go ahead.
I took my leave.
Sure.
As you should have.
I took my leave.
But were you given that option like, hey, we're picking up?
It was mentioned to me, but again, real life things. Either regardless of the fact if I check in the day of graduation or if I do take my leave, you still have other outside factors.
Does that make you a better Marine? You're still gonna do the same 36 fucking months. Take your freaking days and
100%.
stop
100%.
Shaming people into not taking the leave days that they have earned.
It's not. I wouldn't say.
1000%
Let me put it to you this way, brother. And I'm gonna say this. Okay, depot politics is crazy, and it causes Marines to take their own life. And I'm gonna share a quick little story. Okay, this is how hardcore the depot politics are, okay? It was, circa 2005, possibly 2006, okay? And there was a drill instructor, and when they would go down to the swim tank, okay, you had to do not for like swim call as a student, right? Everybody knew the hazing that was going on down there. I was never a swim instructor. I don't know. The last time I was in the pool at MCRD San Diego was as a student at DI school. But everybody knew what was going on down there. And I mean, how else can you get a grown man to hold his breath for like 4 minutes? Okay, they're playing some serious games down there. And I had buddies of mine that I've known for years and years and years tell me in confidence, dude, I laid there on the pool deck and sobbed like a baby because I thought I was going to die. So this drill instructor, brand new, okay, he just checks into the company, and because of his swim call in DI school, they said, hey, go to the tank, and you're going to...
The PMC screener.
Yes, you're going to go through the screener. And everybody's like, oh, damn, because everybody, at least when I was there, was terrified of this, okay? And they called it the screener because what would happen is they would put you through their little freaking, it's not like a hell week, but for lack of a better term, right? They'd put you through their little hell week, and then they would send you down to Coronado or whatever for McQuist and make sure that nobody failed. So like that was their way to like make sure that nobody failed out of McQuist, right?
Yes.
So this guy
There's
of
a
you...
difference between dying and taking... which one was it? Did he die or did he take his life? It's a difference.
He died.
How did he die?
He was drowned by other drill instructors in the pool. Okay? And now, so for everybody out there that remembers this story, for everybody out there, for us here in the room, what would cause a grown man to feel so compelled to legitimately be scared to die and show up the next day and get back in the water? That's the depot politics, and that's how influential it can be and how impactful it can be on these young Marines.
You're 100%. You're right. I don't agree with it, but I think your assessment is correct.
Absolutely, in a sense, but with me currently being there, the culture of that has absolutely changed.
Which is great. It's sad that it took people to die.
Absolutely, but that culture has changed. Like, due to it being the topic, the PMC screener in McQuist, I have multiple drill instructors and NCO staff NCOs who went through the screener and completed the McQuist course. And by all means, some of the strongest mentally and physically willed individuals I know, because that is it's not for the weak. PMC and McQuist is not for the
They're
weak.
still gonna work.
My cousin was slated. My cousin was slated to go to be a McQuist instructor.
Absolutely.
And he went to the course. You know the part that really pissed me off?
But did he have PMC attached to it?
Yes.
Because that's
so all the stuff. So everything that he was in the course.
Yeah.
Okay. So actually, he was about to start the McQuist course. He was in that preparatory. And that shit's hard too. Like that shit ain't no joke.
I heard that's worse than the actual.
Yeah, that shit's no joke.
McQuist
And you know the part. The part that pissed me off. It was like, hey man, we have to actually take you out of the course, like for no reason. Like we have to take you out of the course because you have to go shoot to the rifle range. It was like, if y'all knew, it's me, right? As a gunnery sergeant, he was like, he's drinking the Kool-Aid, okay? And everyone that's down there and knows who I am and knows who my cousin is, you know that he's a teddy bear. He's great, right? But I'm telling him, it's like, bro, you need to grow some freaking cojones. And you need to fucking say something, because you are fucking suffering right now. And I get more emotional than him. You know what I'm saying? Because dude, he's like my little brother. One year I almost put this fucking guy in my taxes because he lived with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm very emotionally attached to him. I fuck with him. You know, the people that know him, that we have friends in common, they know that I fuck with him a lot, but nobody else fucks with him, because that's where I draw a line.
Family. That's family.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's like, dude, you're about to fucking drown in this fucking pool, and then you telling me that they cannot bullshit me. They might be able to bullshit Sergeant Ramos, but they ain't gonna bullshit fucking gunnery Sergeant Ramos. S3 fucking training chief. You know when you have to go to the rifle range. You know this. McTims, dog, it shows what you're delinquent on. Okay? So how in the fucking world are they going to send you to a course where in McTims it shows you exactly the length of the course?
I can tell you how. It ain't got nothing to do with the training chief.
I know it doesn't have anything to do with training chief.
It's his series gunnery sergeants.
Exactly. It's the series gunnery sergeant. I'm like,
because those are the guys that are feeding the names.
You know what my cousin did? He
went.
Was like, yeah, okay. No. He got dropped from the course. That's the part that pissed me off. He did go to the course, but it was like week 3 of the course. Because this ain't no short courses either.
No, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
Like week 3 of the course, dog, this guy has both of his ears all fucked up, like all blown up.
Same thing with the guys who go and do the MAIT at the depot. They're not instructor trainers and they do it at the dojo. That's no joke.
Yeah, dude.
That is no joke. You guys still make ITs there, don't you?
No, we make MAIs there now.
Even still.
Yeah.
You ain't just handing them out at MAI.
No, I'm making.
Because if they're going to be a green shirt, working at the dojo, they got to be an instructor.
Black shirt now, but yeah.
Okay. But still though, right? Yep. You ain't just handing them that.
No, absolutely not. No, there's no chance. And there are Marines, like, on the topic of courses, I'm running an MAI course this month. And
is that an open invitation? Not to me. I'm tired of the Marines. I'm very far away from
So in regards to Marines who are potentially want to become MAIs, you can reach out and potentially be scheduled for a future MAI course, because on the depot, we run them once a quarter.
Okay, for me, what I can say is, as a young sergeant, when I first got there, I want to say I had, 5, almost 6 years in the Marine Corps.
It's rough.
As a young
sergeant,
we used to talk like there's nobody to turn to, man. Even if you turn to somebody, you're gonna get blacklisted, and you're still gonna be.
I refuse to believe that we're in the day and age that just because of that, like, you're gonna get blacklisted. I promise you. And listen, I'm even gonna take it a step further, because I think that those fucking politics, while very real, are very much fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm gonna tell you to the camera. If you feel that you have been blacklisted, now this is not a pity party. Don't come at me with no fucking pity party, because I ain't have no fucking pity. What I want to do is I want to ensure that if there's even a whiff of those things coming up, I promise you that I will bring up the issue for you.
Albert, what did you say earlier in this podcast? You remember what he said, right? In the Marine Corps, there's a heavy culture of guilty until proven innocent.
Correct.
Hello, depots. Hello, because I know drill instructors right now, a handful of them in San Diego. They ain't been convicted of nothing. They ain't got nothing, nothing concrete. But yet they've been sat down. They had their belt and cover taken. They're being put over here. All these little punishments. You can't do this with us. You can't do that with us. They're being humiliated. They haven't been NJP. They haven't been court-martialed. They ain't even got a 6105. So when we talk about guilty until proven innocent, 100%, 1,000. You got recruits that will say something, and they're recruits, right? And we'll believe the recruits over the DIs. Boom. There it is.
There's so many careers that get put in jeopardy. Like we stressed out. The people are supposed to be making the world's finest fighting force.
Yeah.
Think about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so much unnecessary stress. This is my opinion, guys. Sure. It's not the opinion of anybody else's freaking that's here on this podcast right now. This is just my opinion. There's so much unnecessary stress that happens. And, like Sergeant Hampton was saying earlier, it's not about, you got to think about, and I was never a drill instructor, but I don't give a fuck, because it's just common sense.
Sure.
You got to think about how effective a person is. I'm all about creating friction that will bring positive outcomes. You know what I'm saying? If I feel that I'm going to put you in a position of friction to make you a better person, to make you a better leader, to make you a better drill instructor, I'm all about that.
To increase performance.
Yeah, to increase performance.
Sure.
But I think that there needs to be more type of accountability. Whenever it comes, accountability and oversight, whenever it comes to the stress that gets put on these people, because, dude, there's so many unnecessary things that are going on, and that's
part of the reason. And I'm gonna tell you why. I just saw a video yesterday. It was Jonas the Mad Hatter. He reacted.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Huge fan of Jonas the Mad Hatter.
Yeah, Jonas the Mad Hatter. I'd love to have him on the
Jonas,
podcast.
I know you butthurt. I know you butthurt because we haven't invited you to the podcast, but you're in the East Coast. Come your ass to the West Coast, and you'll be the first one on that chair. Love you, brother.
He reacted to a video, and basically it was a guy who's a pretty big creator, and he's a civilian now. And he was commenting on a Parris Island drill instructor.
Oh yeah, was fat.
So what ends up happening is this is why it goes in cycles, and this is just my theory. I have nothing to prove this, right? Because we're Marines, right? Everything we do is super eccentric. We can't just like clean a room. We're gonna check the batteries in the smoke detector for dust, right? Nobody does that but Marines. That's how eccentric we are, right? And so we have this culture where stuff starts getting a little bit out of pocket. Let's say in this case, we do have fat drill instructors or whatever. We start turning up the heat. We start turning it up. we start having all this weirdness, all this hazing, all this unnecessary crap until it gets out of control. And then we go, wow, the hat hazing is out of control here. We need to stop this culture. And then we start to correct it. We start to let drill instructors lead a little bit more of a comfortable life. And then what happens? Then we start getting some, some chunky monkeys out there. And that's just my theory. I think, and not to key in on Marines being overweight, because that's not just the only thing, but I think it goes in cycles. And I think that's a big part of why. Because we're Marines, we do everything to the umpteenth freaking degree. Things get too lackadaisical, we freaking crank that sucker all the way. Let's really get down.
Here's and we'll end this. We have another podcast coming up, guys, but I'll end it at this, man. At the end of the day, drill instructors get put in a position of power. And they get put in a position of power with a lot of trust from the American people to train the world's finest war-fighting force in the entire world. We are unmatched.
That's right.
Okay?
100% agree.
Do not put yourself in a position to where you're creating anything less.
Yeah.
Because the output that you're putting out there into MCT, into all the MOS schools, and essentially into the fleet, brother, you drill instructors, y'all are the ones that are creating the future of the Marine Corps. Don't abuse that power. And and this goes not only to drill instructors. This also goes series commanders, fucking lieutenant colonels, everybody out there. Do not be put into that position, and really evaluate what those decisions that you're currently making, to include the things that you're putting in group chats, to include the things that you're doing when nobody else is looking. Because at the end of the day, brother, I'm going to tell you this. I have 2 kids that have a lot of interest in the United States Marine Corps. And out of some of the things that I've heard, I was like, man, I'm double thinking. Luckily, I haven't had those experiences. I've been double thinking. It's like, man, should I let my kid go through all these experiences? Should I just tell him to go to the Air Force, get paid the same? At the end of the day, guys, you, drill instructors are watching me, you, brother, hold that key. So I definitely appreciate, brother, that you came over here into this podcast, that you gave your honest feedback into your life, into your experiences that you shared in the Marine Corps, that you even open it up for Marines to go train with you, if they want to become a Marine Corps martial arts instructor.
Yeah, absolutely. At the dojo on the Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, 11 to 1300 is open mat. So if you are on Pendleton or Miramar and you want to progress McMat from whatever belt level that you are, you can just come to the dojo between those hours. Or you can.
You said 11 to 1300?
11 to 1300. That's open mat hours. You can come sustain and progressing your belt. Or you can just
Is it still right behind the Recruit PX?
It is.
Okay.
Or,
so for those of you guys that didn't know that.
Absolutely. Or if you're just interested in coming to spar and learn a workshop, we also do those as well.
Aren't there signs right there that say, like, you can't, if you're not RTR personnel, like, did they got to check in? I don't even know.
There's the RTR duty. The RTR headquarters is right there. You check in, and that's perfectly fine. Or RTR staff will bring you back.
Awesome.
Cool.
So, guys, where can people find you?
Yeah. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. First and foremost, all of your support means the world to me. It means the world to Albert. And, Hampton Fur, thank you for being on here, brother. It's good to finally meet you. He's been flexing the whole time, guys. Guys,
even when he's not trying to flex.
He has been flexing the whole time. All right. Instagram, hit me up, @bull5277. TikTok, @bull52772. Click the link in my bio. The call is free and the change will last you a lifetime.
Where can people find you at, brother?
Instagram and TikTok. That would be Hampton Fur with 2 underscores. Last name, Hampton Fur with 2 underscores. By all means, any Marines in regards to training, mentorship, or just want to have that conversation, feel free to reach out. You can either shoot me a DM on TikTok or Instagram. I always have the time to get back to Marines.
Guys, and make sure that as you see, what we like to do is we like to have real conversations out here. So if this is your first video that you ever see, consider subscribing, consider sharing this video with somebody that you feel will gain a lot of value into their life, because that's essentially what we are trying to do. Go check out any of these videos that are going to pop right here. I promise you that they will be nothing short of excellent and of value to your life. So I'll see you guys in the next one.